Hi, I'm Robert Anthony of Robert Anthony Florist. And why are you walking backwards?
I'm not.
Okay. We're going to make a video. Elise and I were talking, and we go on and off. One of the popular flower requests that we get is for tulips. And I have a resistance to getting tulips. And there are a lot of good reasons behind it, but the buying public calls and they don't agree with the reasoning behind it until they pay for the tulips and get them and are invariably disappointed. There are a couple reasons we don't get tulips. One of which is because they don't have a good shelf life. They don't last for a long time. Another of which is the incredibly small size that they come in for what you have to pay to get the tulips. Now, I'm from Michigan, and we had tulip beds that would come up in the spring that would be quite extraordinary. We would get French tulips and parrot tulips, and the blossoms on the tulips would be, you can see this apple right here. This is a standard, fairly large red apple, and you can see it in the palm of my hand. That is approximately the size of the tulips that we would get that would be in our garden that would come up. And I think that that's what people think that they're going to get. Elise had a brilliant idea because videos seem to help people to see and understand exactly what they're getting when they buy a product. But the biggest reason is the lack of perceived value. Perceived value is everything. That's what I was taught at Eastern Floral in Grand Rapids when I was a younger man and working there by a much wiser florist than I am. So I brought out today a vase of tulips. These are pretty standard what we would get when we order tulips in for a consumer, for the customer, okay? I want you to look at the size of that head compared to that apple. This is typical of the size tulip that we get. And to make it so that people can understand, this is a standard, this is a 20-ounce bottle of one of our favorite drinks, Diet Coke. You can tell we've been drinking it. It was in the cooler. This is the height of the tulip. This is the size of the head of the tulip compared to the bottle of Coke. Pretty small. Here is a standard size jar of Concord grape jelly because sometimes I make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches here at the flower shop, and sometimes we make pancakes at the flower shop and I put peanut butter and jelly on the pancakes. I want you to notice the size of the Concord grape jelly when it's next to the tulip. This, of course, is the height. Not as concerned about the height as I am about the size of the head of the tulip next to the Concord grape jelly. Now, these are a little smaller than what they would normally be, but not incredibly smaller. This is about right with regard to what people get. So that's why we don't buy tulips, because every time we do get tulips, because people want tulips and we send them out, somebody buys them and we try to explain they're small, but then they always call and say, those tulips are really small. So now, before people get them, using common everyday items that you might find in your refrigerator or on your shelves at your home, you can see how tiny the tulips really are. So that's my educational video on tulips and their lack of value, as far as I'm concerned, as a retail flower purchase. I hope you have a great week. Thanks for dropping by.